Okay, good evening or good day, depending on what time you're looking at this, everyone. My name's Daniel Thomas. I'm the Executive Artistic Director of 42nd Street Moon, and I've got some of the incredible cast of A Little Night Music here with me.
Hi, nice to meet you all. My name's Trixie. I will be playing Petra, and this is my second show with 42nd Street Moon. I actually just finished with chess in concert, so that was a really good time, and so yeah, excited to be here.
You were part of our grand return to the stage.
Yeah,
And
it
was
was
a
an
lot of fun.
honor.
Yeah, well, thank you for being here for this. SHAI, you're making your debut with us?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm playing Henrik, and this is my 42nd Street Moon debut.
Very exciting, and thank you for being here. Hi, Jack, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Jack O'Reilly. The first show I did with Moon was Saturday night, and that was actually also my first Sondheim I ever did. And then after that with Moon, I did Titanic in concert. And as a side note, I'm really bummed that I missed chess in concert. I was out of town for a wedding, but I love that show, and I heard it was awesome. So congrats to all involved.
Yeah, hi, I'm Samantha Rose Cardenas. Sam is great, and I'm playing Anne. And this is my third show, I guess, because I almost forgot that I did South Pacific in concert. So I started off with No No Nanette, which I think was one of the first shows with you and Darren at the helm, Daniel.
Yeah, that was in our first season.
Amazing. Yeah, so I started with that one, and then I did South Pacific in concert, and now I'm back, and I'm really excited.
Let's start. SHAI, you get to play an instrument on stage, which we've seen some clips of you doing. So I know you can do it and have done it before. What extra layers of challenge does that bring for you?
Yeah, it's definitely a first to have to play while singing. I'm either in the pit or I'm on stage. It's a lot to think about. I think Sondheim is already a lot to think about when you're just singing it. So yeah, it's great though, because I know in one of the interviews Sondheim had like initially envisioned this show to be each character had their own instrument, and I think that they're kind of written that way too. So I feel like it's just another amazing layer to bring to Henrik. It's not like a very far stretch for him to like play the cello. Like he is a cello like as a character. Yeah.
Did you start as a on-stage performer first or a musician first?
Definitely on-stage performer. Yeah, I grew up doing musical theater and then pulled a few instruments along the ride.
Trixie, you play one of the servants, and you kind of observe some of the goings on with Anne and with Henrik and Frederick and some of the other characters. Have you thought about how you observe what the upper class does and how they approach love and sex and how that relates to your character?
Oh yeah, it's totally different compared like with her relationship with Anne, and she's definitely more of an observer. She likes to have fun after hours or during hours, and so she yeah, I think she just sees how prude they not well, that's the wrong word, but more so just like they're more low key while she likes to have fun on the side. It's just kind of I don't know, it was a juxtaposition of like while she's like maybe lower class, while she likes to have all this fun and get nitty gritty, while like the more prim and proper are a little more that, if I could put that into a word.
So Sam, as one of those upper class, you start out the show as kind of the naive, ingenue, for lack of a better term. How do you think your characters look at love and sex and relationships evolves over the play?
Oh, there's a huge evolution, specifically for Anne. I mean, especially for the time period, especially for women, like marriage was not about love or sex. Marriage was about like a strategic sort of union of two people. And I think Anne very much believes that she doesn't like a husband is there to take care of her and to buy her pretty things. And this is how a woman is supposed to be. And I think that she is obviously grappling very early on with some sexual urges that she has toward Henrik that she doesn't understand. and she doesn't even know that's what they are. And so watching her and getting to live, you know, this journey of her figuring out what that is, and that she could be with somebody that she has feelings for, and then she eventually, you know, I won't give away to the end of the play, but she has a journey, and it's really cool to watch, especially like a woman in any time period, but especially this time period where purity is such a virtue, such a value for women, and watching her kind of grapple with that, and like, what's the word I'm looking for? She fights against it.
I think the setting of the play kind of reflects that, the fact it's in the 1910 to 1920 range. And that's really one of the first times you think about the women's suffrage movement, and really the first time that there was really a successful push towards gender equality. And that's kind of reflected in a lot of the journeys of the characters of this play. Jack, so your character also of one of the servant class, and you have kind of a similar path in the second act, in terms of observing the upper class, and you kind of get a moment, you kind of seize your moment in this play. How do you feel any little sort of subversiveness and kind of operating behind the backs of the hoi polloi?
I guess the way Frid sees himself, you know, in comparison with the upper classes, you know, he's very straightforward and unpretentious with his desires. I guess he's very in tune with his, you know, feelings and desires, and sees, you know, this constant worry that the upper classes have with, you know, being slighted or how they're perceived or whatever, as some kind of, you know, disconnect with, you know, fulfilling his desires, I guess. I was trying to look a little bit more into the role, and I guess there was a cut song, "Silly People," that was originally for this character, and I thought it was interesting because it gives a little bit more insight into kind of like his mental state at the time, and how he feels about the interactions. But yeah, fundamentally, I feel like being just in the moment, in tune, you know, with one's body and feelings and desires is sort of how Frid operates.
And I was going to mention that song, and I came across that song outside of the show, but I was like, this is a really interesting and fun character song. I get why they cut it. I get it, the pacing and all of that sort of stuff. I was like, I wonder if we could ask them to put it back in. So TRIXIE, you mentioned doing chess a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Was that your first show back?
Yes, it was. It was so a surreal feeling. Like, you know when you have jitters on opening night, I think it was just heightened, especially because it's just like, that's the first time being back after almost 2 years. So it was very exciting, very scary, but when you jump in, you're in, and it felt great. It felt great to be back.
Wonderful. Jack, how about you? Is this your first?
Yeah, this is my first in-person thing. I did a very short Zoom short plays thing a few months ago, but this will be my first you know, time back in a physical space, and I'm very excited for it. You know, there's just an energy about being in the room. I went to a show last night at Feinstein's, and seeing that and feeling that energy was, I don't know, it was amazing.
Absolutely. SHAI, how about you?
Yeah, I've done a bunch of virtual theater over Zoom, and it's not the same. So this is my first show back.
I agree. We learned a lot about creating virtual content, and it was interesting in its way and kind of fun. But yeah, there's no comparison. Sam, what about you?
Yeah, same for me. I did a lot of virtual readings of musicals, and I did an original musical virtual presentation for producers and investors. But this is going to be actually my first in-person show, first full show in 3 years since I left the Bay Area. I've done a few concerts here and there, but fully staged. This is a big one. I'm excited.
It is a big one. Well, thank you all for taking a few brief moments out of lives and careers and everything to chat with us and let the audience get to know you. A Little Night Music is playing November 4th through the 21st at the Gateway Theater in San Francisco. Tickets are available now at www.42ndstreetmoon.org. This is just one quarter of the tremendous cast you're going to see on stage and here doing this glorious, glorious score, and we cannot wait. Thank you all for taking a few minutes, and we'll see you soon.